Hey guys, tonight we are slipping into the shadows of a tale so ancient, so electric, it might just hum through your bones. Picture this: you're standing on a dusty plain under a South African sky, stars sharp enough to cut through the velvet dark. The air smells of dry grass and something older, something sacred. A faint glow pulses from a jagged cliff ahead, where a cave mouth yawns like it's been waiting for you since the world was young. This is no ordinary hike, and deep down, you know you probably won't survive this unscathed, not your mind, anyway. The Zulu call this place holy, guarded by spirits who don't take kindly to trespassers. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're joining me from tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're not sure what pulled you here. Maybe it was that old book you found in a thrift shop, its pages yellowed, talking about a sacred Zulu cave tied to legends of creation itself. Or maybe it's just that itch for adventure, the kind that makes you ignore the warning signs, like the weathered wooden post you passed an hour ago, carved with symbols you couldn't read but felt in your gut. Either way, your boots crunch on the gravelly path now, each step heavier as the cave's entrance looms closer. The wind carries a low hum, almost a chant, and you swear it's coming from inside the rock itself. Your flashlight flickers, because of course it does, classic horror movie vibes, right? You laugh under your breath, but it's a shaky sound. The cave mouth is wide, jagged, like a predator's maw, and that glow you saw from afar? It's stronger now, a soft green pulse that doesn't feel like it belongs in this world. You pause at the threshold, heart thumping. The air here is cooler, damp, with a faint metallic tang. You're no archaeologist, but you know enough to recognize this place isn't just a hole in the ground. The Zulu people have revered caves like this for centuries, believing they're gateways to the spirit world. Fact check: in the 19th century, Zulu kings like Shaka used sacred sites for rituals to honor ancestors, grounding their rule in divine favor. But there's a quirkier tidbit: some locals still swear these caves shift their entrances, like the earth itself decides who gets in. Historians still argue whether these sites were purely spiritual or also strategic hideouts during wars. You don't know what's true, but standing here, you feel watched. Not by eyes, but by something older, heavier. You step inside, and the cave swallows the outside world. The glow isn't blinding, but it's everywhere, seeping from the walls in veins of light that pulse like a heartbeat. You run your fingers over the rock, smooth, warm, unnatural. Your flashlight's beam catches strange markings, not quite carvings, more like the stone grew that way, shaped by forces you can't name. You're not alone here. You feel it in the way the air presses against your skin. A shadow shifts in your peripheral vision, and you spin, heart in your throat. Nothing. Just a stalactite dripping water, right? You chuckle, muttering, "Great, I'm jumping at rocks now." But the drip echoes too perfectly, like a metronome keeping time for something you can't see. The path slopes downward, and you follow it because turning back feels like admitting defeat. The glow brightens, and the hum grows into a rhythm, almost words, but not in any language you know. You're deep now, deeper than you meant to go, and the cave feels alive. You pass a boulder etched with a spiral, and your fingers brush it. Big mistake. A jolt runs through you, not painful, but sharp, like static from a cosmic carpet. Your head spins with images, warriors with spears, a starry sky, a fire that burns without wood. You stumble back, gasping. "Okay, universe, I get it," you mutter, half joking to keep the panic at bay. Whatever this cave is, it's not just a legend. It's awake, and it knows you're here. You keep moving, because what else can you do? The walls narrow, forcing you to duck under a low overhang. Your backpack scrapes the ceiling, and a pebble skitters into the dark, echoing too long. You're not imagining it now, the air hums with intent. Up ahead, the glow pulls into a chamber, and you catch a glimpse of something impossible, a figure, tall and shimmering, standing where no one should be. You freeze, breath caught. Is it a trick of the light? A hallucination from bad cave air? Or is this the first of the Zulu spirits, deciding whether you're worthy to go deeper? Your gut says run, but your feet won't listen. The figure doesn't move, but you feel its gaze, heavy as history itself. You're rooted to the spot, staring at that shimmering figure in the cave's glowing chamber, your pulse hammering like it's trying to escape your chest. The air hums louder now, not just a sound but a presence, wrapping around you like a whisper you can't quite catch. You squint, hoping it's just your eyes playing tricks, but the figure stays, tall, indistinct, like a silhouette carved from starlight. You mutter, "All right, cave, if you're gonna kill me, make it quick," half joking to keep your nerves from fraying. The figure doesn't budge, but the hum shifts, splitting into voices, soft, overlapping, speaking in a tongue that feels older than the rocks around you. You're no linguist, but it's Zulu, or something close, and it's not happy chatter. It's a warning, a question, maybe both. You take a cautious step forward, because apparently you're that person in the horror movie who doesn't run. The chamber's walls pulse with that green glow, veins of light weaving patterns that seem to shift when you're not looking. The voices grow clearer, not in words you understand, but in feeling, curiosity, suspicion, judgment. You're an intruder here, and whatever these spirits are, they're sizing you up. Your flashlight's useless now, the glow drowning its beam, so you shove it in your pocket. The air's thick, like breathing through wet cloth, and it smells of earth and something sharp, like ozone after a storm. You glance back, but the tunnel you came through looks different, narrower, like the cave's reshaping itself to keep you in. Great, you think, I'm in a sentient rock trap. The figure vanishes, and you blink, heart lurching. Before you can process it, the voices surge, a chorus now, pulling you toward the chamber's center. You stumble forward, boots slipping on slick stone. There's a pool of water there, not deep, but unnaturally clear, reflecting the glowing walls like a mirror to another world. You kneel, drawn by some instinct you don't question, and the voices sharpen into a single phrase, looping in your head. Why are you here? You laugh nervously. Bad life choices. But the question isn't rhetorical. The cave wants an answer, and you're not sure you have one. You're just a curious nobody, chasing a thrill, not some chosen hero. Right. You dip your fingers in the pool, and the water's warm, tingling like it's alive. Images flicker across its surface, a Zulu village under moonlight, elders chanting around a fire, a warrior standing at this very cave's entrance, spear in hand. You pull back, gasping. This isn't your imagination, it's a memory, not yours, but the cave's. Fact check. Zulu oral traditions, dating back centuries, often centered on sacred sites where ancestors spoke through dreams or visions, guiding the living. Quirky tidbit. Some 20th century explorers claimed these caves caused time slips, where hours passed in minutes. Historians still argue whether these visions were spiritual or just bad mushrooms in the water. You're leaning toward spirits, because this pool's showing you things no history book could. The voices soften, but they're still there, probing. You stand, wiping your wet hand on your jeans, and notice the chamber's walls have changed. The glowing veins form shapes now, spirals, zigzags, like a code you're meant to crack. You trace one with your finger, and the voices hum approval, but it's fleeting. A shadow moves again, not the figure this time, but something smaller, darting across the wall. You spin, catching a glimpse of a jackal in a cave. You chuckle, okay, spirit pup, you're not helping my vibe. But it's gone, and you're alone again. Or not, those voices aren't letting up, and they're guiding you deeper, where the chamber narrows into another tunnel. You hesitate. Going deeper feels like signing a contract with no fine print. But the pool's visions linger, those elders, that warrior, and you want answers. You adjust your backpack, the straps digging into your shoulders, and step into the tunnel. The glow follows, lighting your path, but the voices grow insistent, weaving between Zulu syllables and something older, primal. You're not just walking now, you're being led. The tunnel curves, and you hear a faint drumbeat, not from the voices but from the stone itself, like the cave has a pulse. You're in over your head, and the worst part? You're kinda loving it. Up ahead, the tunnel opens into darkness, no glow, just a void that swallows the light. The voices pause, and for the first time, you hear your own breathing, ragged and loud. You step forward, and the air shifts, colder, heavier, like crossing a threshold. Something's waiting in that darkness, something the voices answer to. You whisper, "If this is where I meet the boss level, I want a refund." But there's no turning back, the cave's made that clear. You're about to meet the Guardians, and they're not here to chat. You step into the darkness, and it's like the cave just inhaled you. The glowing veins from the last chamber are gone, leaving you in a void so thick your flashlight's beam barely cuts through. The air's heavy, pressing on your chest, and it smells of wet stone and something ancient, like incense burned centuries ago. Those voices from before? They're back, but quieter, a murmur that vibrates in your bones. You feel them watching, not with eyes, but with intent. You mutter, "Okay, spirits, let's not make this a jump-scare situation," trying to keep your cool, but your voice echoes wrong, like the cave's mocking you. Then it happens, a flicker of light, not green this time, but gold, sparking in the distance. The Zulu spirits are here, and they're done lurking. You inch forward, boots scuffing on uneven stone, and the gold light pulses, revealing shapes, tall, humanoid, but not quite human. Their outlines woven from that light, like embers given form, and they move with a grace that makes your skin prickle. There are 3 of them, each distinct, one broad and towering, another lean with a spear-like shadow, the third smaller, almost childlike but radiating menace. You freeze, heart jackhammering. These are the Guardians, and they're not here to offer you tea. The voices sharpen into a single question, booming in your head. What right have you to tread here? You laugh nervously. I'm just a tourist with bad decision-making skills. But they don't laugh back. Big surprise. The towering spirit steps closer, its form rippling like heat off pavement. You catch glimpses of details, a beaded necklace, a shield that shimmers like liquid gold, but they fade as fast as they appear. It speaks, not aloud but in your mind, its voice deep and layered, like a chorus of ancestors. It demands a riddle. I am taken from life, yet I give life in return. What am I? You blink, brain scrambling. A riddle? Now? You're no Sherlock, but you've got to play along or this cave might become your permanent address. You pace, muttering, taken from life, gives life. What even fits that? The other spirits watch, silent, their glowing eyes, or what you think are eyes, boring into you. You stall, glancing around for clues. The chamber's walls are rougher here, etched with faint scratches that might be claw marks. Your flashlight catches a pile of bones in a corner, animal, you hope, and you shudder, joking to yourself, great, I'm in the spirit version of our escape room. But the riddle nags. You think of Zulu culture, of sacrifices, of rituals. Fact check. In the 1800s, Zulu healers used animal hides and bones in ceremonies, believing they channeled life force to the living. Quirky tidbit. Some shamans claimed spirits hid riddles in dreams to test the worthy. Historians still argue whether these rituals were purely symbolic or tied to actual supernatural events. You're betting on the latter, because these guardians aren't metaphors. You snap your fingers, an idea forming. Blood, you say aloud, voice shaky. Taken from life, but used in rituals to honor ancestors, to give life back. The towering spirit tilts its head, and for a second, you think you've nailed it. Then the lean one hisses, its spear shadow glinting, and the childlike one giggles, a sound that makes your hair stand on end. They don't confirm or deny, but the air lightens, like you've passed round one. The towering spirit gestures, and the darkness peels back, revealing a stone archway carved with interlocking spirals. The voices hum again, urging you through. You're not out of the woods, but you're still breathing, so that's something. You duck under the arch, and the chamber beyond is different, warmer, with a faint red glow flickering like a distant fire. The guardians follow, their forms less defined now, blending into the light. They're still watching, still judging, but they've given you a task: prove your worth. The red glow pulses from a pedestal ahead, where a single object rests, a stone, maybe, or a bone, too far to tell. You step closer, and the voices whisper fragments of a story: a warrior who failed here, a thief who vanished, a child who survived. You're not sure what's worse, failing their test or passing it. You quip, "If I get a gold star, do I also get a way out?" No answer, just that creepy giggle again. The pedestal's closer now, and you see it's not a stone but a horn, carved with symbols that match the cave's walls. You reach for it, then hesitate. Touching stuff in this cave hasn't exactly been lucky. The Guardian's presence presses harder, their light flaring. They want you to act, to prove you're not just some rando stumbling into their sanctum. You take a deep breath, the air tasting of smoke and earth, and brace for whatever comes next. These spirits aren't done with you, and this horn? It's the key to their next riddle, or your next mistake. You're standing before the pedestal, the carved horn glinting under the cave's eerie red glow, and the Zulu guardian spirits are practically breathing down your neck, except, you know, they don't breathe. Their presence is a weight, those golden silhouettes flickering like they're one spark away from igniting. The horn's symbols pulse faintly, matching the spirals you saw earlier, and you can't shake the feeling it's watching you as much as the spirits are. You mutter, "If I touch this and get zapped to Narnia, I'm filing a complaint," trying to keep your nerves from unraveling. The childlike spirit giggles again, and you swear it's mocking your bad life choices. The voices in your head, because apparently that's your life now, hum a single word: truth. Great, super clear, cave. Thanks. You circle the pedestal, buying time. The horn's old, older than anything you've seen in a museum, its surface etched with scenes, warriors dancing, a mountain under stars, a figure holding this very horn to the sky. You're no expert, but these carvings aren't just art, they're a story, maybe a map. You glance at the guardians, their forms shimmering in the red light, and wonder if they're waiting for you to crack the code or just screw up spectacularly. The air's warm here, thick with that smoky, earthy scent, and your skin prickles like you're standing too close to a fire. You wipe sweat from your brow and notice the floor, smooth, polished, with faint grooves radiating from the pedestal like ripples in a pond. This place was built, not just found. You reach out, fingers hovering over the horn. The voices surge, a chorus of Zulu syllables mixed with something deeper, like the earth itself is chanting. You pull back, heart racing. Okay, I'm not stealing it, you say, half to yourself, half to the spirits. But the word truth echoes again, and you realize they want you to read the symbols, not just grab and go. You kneel, squinting at the carvings. One spiral catches your eye, larger than the rest, surrounded by dots like a constellation. You trace it, and the red glow flares, the grooves in the floor lighting up like circuits. The chamber rumbles, and you stumble back, laughing nervously. Did I just activate the bat cave? The guardians don't move, but their light pulses in sync with the floor. You're onto something. Fact check. Zulu cosmology, rooted in centuries of tradition, ties sacred sites to the stars, believing ancestors guide the living through celestial patterns. Quirky tidbit: some 19th century Zulu shamans used carved horns as star maps, claiming they channeled cosmic wisdom. Historians still argue whether these were literal maps or symbolic tools for spiritual journeys. You're betting on both, because this horn's symbols feel like they're pointing somewhere, maybe deeper into the cave, maybe to the sky. You focus on the spiral, counting the dots around it. 7. Like the Pleiades cluster, which you vaguely remember from a documentary. You glance up, half expecting to see stars through the cave's ceiling, but it's just rock. Still, the grooves in the floor form a pattern, leading to a wall where the red glow pulls into a new set of markings. You walk over, the guardians trailing silently, and find a mural, faint but clear, a cave mouth, a river, a flame, all tied to that same spiral. The voices hum approval, but it's not enough. They want more than recognition, they want understanding. You mutter, "What? You want me to write a thesis on this?" The lean spirit spear shadow twitches, and you shut up fast. You study the mural, fingers brushing the stone. It's warm, almost alive, and the symbols shift under your touch, not physically, but in meaning. You see it now, the cave's history, etched in light and stone. It's a sanctuary, built to guard something sacred, something the Zulu protected through war and time. The horn was a key, not to be taken but to be read, its symbols a guide for the worthy. You step back, mind racing. The grooves in the floor point to a new tunnel, its entrance barely visible in the red glow. The guardian's light dims, like they're giving you space to decide. Go deeper, or stay here and play it safe. You chuckle, safe's not my brand, apparently. You head for the tunnel, the horn's symbols burned into your memory. The air cools as you step through, the red glow fading behind you. The voices soften, but they're still there, guiding, judging. The tunnel's walls are rougher, unmarked, but the floor slopes downward, and you hear a faint rhythm, not drums this time, but something alive, like a heartbeat. You're getting closer to the cave's heart, and the guardians know it. Whatever's next, it's not just a test, it's a ritual, and you're already part of it. You're in the tunnel now, the red glow from the last chamber a fading memory as the darkness closes in again. The air's cooler, sharper, with a dampness that clings to your skin like a second shirt. The heartbeat-like rhythm you heard before is louder, pulsing through the stone under your boots, and it's not just in your head, you feel it in your chest, syncing with your own pulse. You mutter, "If this cave starts calling me chosen one, I'm out," but the sarcasm's more for you than the spirits. Those golden guardians aren't visible, but their presence lingers, a prickling on your neck like you're being watched from every angle. The tunnel slopes steeper, and you steady yourself against the rough wall, where faint scratches hint at something, or someone, passing through long ago. Up ahead, a faint blue light flickers, not steady like the green or red glows before, but erratic, like firelight on water. You push forward, the heartbeat growing into a chant, not words but vibrations that hum in your bones. The tunnel opens into a vast chamber, and you stop dead. The walls are alive with movement, shadows dancing, not random, but deliberate, like figures in a ritual. They're not solid, not like the guardians, but they move with purpose, warriors with shields, elders raising hands to the sky, a circle of dancers around a blue flame that burns in the chamber's center. You blink, half expecting it to vanish, but it doesn't. "Okay, cave, you're showing off now," you whisper, half joking to keep the awe from swallowing you. The blue flame isn't on wood or fuel, it's floating, suspended above a stone altar carved with the same spirals you saw on the horn. The shadows dance around it, and you realize they're not just shadows, they're echoes, spirits reenacting a ritual older than the cave itself. You step closer, the chant vibrating in your teeth, and the air grows warm, smelling of ash and sweet herbs. The shadows don't notice you, or maybe they do, but they keep moving, their forms weaving a story you can almost grasp. You see a warrior thrust a spear, an elder pour liquid into the flame, A child place a stone at the altar's base. It's hypnotic, and you're swaying, caught in the rhythm, your own breath matching the chant. You shake your head, snapping out of it. Not signing up for the ghost dance team just yet, you mutter, but your voice feels small here. The altar's pulling you, and you notice the flame isn't random, it's shaped, almost like a hand, reaching up. You kneel, peering at the altar's carvings, and find more symbols: the spiral, the river, the flame from the mural, but also a new one, a crescent moon. Fact check: Zulu rituals often tied to lunar cycles, with full moons marking major ceremonies for ancestors, a practice noted in 18th century oral histories. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu shamans believed blue flames signaled spirits crossing over, a claim European explorers dismissed as folklore. Historians still argue whether these rituals were purely symbolic or tapped into something cosmic. You're leaning cosmic, because this flame's not natural. The shadows shift, and you feel a tug, not physical, but like the caves urging you to join the dance. You stand, hesitant, and mimic a step you saw, feeling ridiculous but also right. The chant hums approval, and the flame flares, casting your shadow among the others. You're part of it now, whether you meant to be or not. You move again, copying the warrior's steps, and the shadows tighten their circle, their forms brushing past you, cold, electric, like static. You laugh nervously: if I'm possessed after this, I'm leaving a bad Yelp review. But you keep going, because stopping feels like failing. The ritual builds, the chant rising, and you're sweating, heart racing. The flame pulses, and you see it, a vision in the fire, a cave mouth under a crescent moon, a river flowing backward, a figure holding the horn. It's not just a memory, it's a guide, showing you what's next. The shadows slow, and the chant fades, leaving you gasping in the quiet. The flame dims, but the altar's still warm, the carvings glowing faintly. You're alone again, but the guardian's presence lingers, approving, maybe, or just waiting. A new tunnel yawns beyond the altar, its entrance framed by crescent moon carvings. You know where you're going, and it's not back. You sling your backpack tighter, the weight grounding you. The chamber's still humming, softer now, like a lullaby from the earth. You step toward the tunnel, the blue flame's vision burned into your mind. Whatever this ritual was, it's changed you, you feel it, like a current under your skin. The cave's not just testing you anymore, it's claiming you, and you're not sure if that's good or bad. You're stepping into the new tunnel, the blue flame's vision still flickering in your mind like a half-remembered dream. The crescent moon, the backward river, the horn, they're pieces of a puzzle, and this cave's not handing out the instruction manual. The air here is cooler, with a faint metallic tang, like wet iron, and the walls glisten with moisture that reflects your flashlight's beam in jagged streaks. The heartbeat rhythm from the last chamber is gone, replaced by a low hum, almost mechanical, like the cave's machinery is waking up. You mutter, if this turns into an alien spaceship, I'm demanding a refund, but the joke feels flat when the tunnel's walls seem to pulse in response. The guardians aren't visible, but their weight's still on you, those golden spirits tracking your every move. The tunnel curves, and you nearly trip over a jutting rock, catching yourself on the slick wall. Your hand comes away wet, and you notice the stone's not just damp, it's warm, like it's sweating. Up ahead, the tunnel opens into a small chamber, and you freeze. There's something on the ground, half buried in the dirt, a relic, glinting faintly in the dim light. It's not the horn from before. This is different, a curved blade, maybe a dagger, its handle wrapped in frayed leather. You kneel, heart thudding, and brush away the dirt. The blade's etched with the same spirals and crescent moons you've seen, but there's something else, a faint pulse, like it's alive, vibrating under your fingers. You quip, okay, cursed artifact number 1, nice to meet you, but your voice shakes. This thing's not just old, it's powerful. You hesitate, remembering the horn and how touching stuff in this cave comes with strings attached. The hum in the ear grows sharper, and you feel the Guardian's presence intensify, their unseen eyes boring into you. The voices return, not words but a feeling, claim it. You're not sure if it's an order or a dare, but you wrap your hand around the handle. A jolt runs through you, not pain, but energy, like grabbing a live wire. Images flood your head, a Zulu warrior wielding this blade, a ritual under a crescent moon, blood on the stone. You drop it, gasping, and scramble back. Nope, not signing up for the stabby club, you mutter, but the relic's pulse doesn't stop, it's calling you, and the cave's listening. You stand, wiping your hands on your jeans, and notice the chamber's walls are different, covered in shallow carvings, like a gallery of the relic's history. You trace one, showing the blade raised to the sky, surrounded by figures in a circle. Fact check. Zulu warriors in the 19th century used ceremonial blades in rituals to honor ancestors, often burying them in sacred sites to guard the spirits. Quirky tidbit. Some local legends claim these blades chose their wielders, glowing when touched by the worthy. Historians still argue whether these were symbolic tools or believed to hold actual power. You're voting power, because this dagger's doing things no museum piece should. The carvings show more: a river, a flame, a cave mouth under stars. It's the same story from the visions, but now you see the blade's role: a key, a protector, maybe a weapon. You glance at the relic, still pulsing in the dirt, and realize you can't leave it. Not because you want it, but because the cave won't let you. You pick it up again, slower this time, and the energy's still there, but it's steadier, like it's accepted you. The Guardian's presence hums approval, but it's not warm fuzzies, they're waiting to see what you do next. You tuck the blade into your backpack, the weight heavier than it should be. The chamber's hum shifts, and a new path appears, a narrow crevice in the wall, barely wide enough for you to squeeze through. You shine your flashlight, catching a glimpse of more carvings on the other side, and hear a faint trickle, like water? The backward river from the vision? You chuckle, if I drown in a magic river, I'm haunting this place. The Guardians don't respond, but the relic's pulse syncs with the hum, urging you forward. You squeeze through the crevice, the stones scraping your shoulders, and step into a new space, the air thick with mist and the sound of flowing water. Whatever's next, this blade's part of it, and you're not just a tourist anymore, you're in deep. You're through the crevice, the relic's weight in your backpack pulling at your shoulders like it's got its own gravity. The new chamber's air is thick with mist, cool and heavy, smelling of moss and something faintly sweet, like overripe fruit. The trickle you heard before is louder now, a steady rush of water echoing off the walls. Your flashlight catches glints of moisture on the stone, and you notice the floor slopes gently toward the sound. The Guardian's presence is still there, a prickling on your skin, but it's quieter, like they're holding their breath. You mutter, if this is the part where I fight a water monster, I'm underprepared, trying to lighten the mood, but the cave's hum pulses in response, low and serious. The relic in your bag feels warmer, its energy buzzing like a tuning fork. You follow the slope, boots slipping on the slick stone, and the mist parts to reveal a subterranean river, narrow but fast, its water glowing faintly silver under the cave's dim light. It's not flowing the way rivers should, it's moving backward, upstream, defying every rule of physics you know. You blink, half expecting it to correct itself, but it doesn't. The vision from the blue flame, the backward river under a crescent moon, flashes in your mind, and you know this is it. You kneel by the bank, the water's surface rippling with images, a Zulu elder dipping a blade in the flow, a starry sky reflected in the current, a cave mouth sealed by stone. You quip, great, I'm in a magical plumbing system now, but your voice is shaky. This river's alive, and it's watching you. The relic hums in your bag, and you pull it out, the dagger's carvings glowing faintly in the river's light. The Guardian's voices return, not words but a challenge, prove your courage. You laugh nervously, Courage? I'm here, aren't I? But you know what they mean. The river's not just a pretty sight, it's a test. You dip the blade's tip into the water, half expecting it to zap you, but instead, the current slows, and the images sharpen. You see a warrior standing where you are, facing the river, his face set with determination. He steps into the water, and the vision cuts off. You pull the blade back, heart pounding. No way I'm swimming in magic juice, you mutter, but the Guardian's presence presses harder, their hum turning sharp. You stand, scanning the chamber. The walls are smooth here, polished by centuries of water, and carved with faint crescent moons and spirals, like the ones on the relic. Fact check: Zulu mythology often links rivers to spiritual crossings, with water serving as a bridge to the ancestral realm, a belief documented in 19th century oral traditions. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu shamans claimed sacred rivers could judge intruders, flowing backward to trap the unworthy. Historians still argue whether these stories were metaphors or tied to real geological oddities. You're betting on oddities, because this river's defying gravity and common sense. You pace along the bank, the relic heavy in your hand. The river's current tugs at your boots, not physically but like it's pulling your will. You see it now: the test isn't about fighting or solving a riddle, it's about trust. The warrior in the vision didn't hesitate, he stepped in. You're not him, but you're here, and the cave's not giving you a pass. You tuck the relic into your belt, take a deep breath, and step into the river. The water's cold, shockingly so, and it swirls around your knees, pulling you upstream. You stumble, grabbing a jutting rock, and laugh, "Okay, river, let's not drown the new guy." But it's not trying to kill you, it's guiding you, the current nudging you toward a dark archway where the river disappears. You wade deeper, the water at your thighs now, and the visions return, stronger. You see battles, rituals, a cave sealed under a crescent moon. The relic pulses, and you feel it: courage, not yours, but borrowed, like the cave's lending you its strength. The archway looms, and you duck under, the water rising to your waist. The chamber beyond is vast, the river spilling into a pool that glows brighter, silver light bouncing off the walls. You climb out, dripping, and notice the Guardian's presence again, stronger, approving. The pool's center holds a stone platform, and on it, something small, a bead, maybe, or a coin, glinting in the light. You know it's the next piece, and the river brought you here to claim it. You're standing by the glowing silver pool, water dripping from your clothes, the chill of the backward river still clinging to your skin. The stone platform in the pool's center holds that glinting object, small but magnetic, like it's pulling your gaze and your gut. The chamber's vast, its walls soaring into shadows, carved with crescent moons and spirals that catch the light like star charts. The air smells of wet stone and something floral, faint but sharp, like wildflowers crushed underfoot. The Guardian's presence hums around you, not oppressive now but expectant, their golden weight nudging you toward the platform. You mutter, "If this is another cursed knick-knack, I'm starting a collection," but the relic dagger at your belt pulses in response, warm against your hip. The cave's not joking, and neither are the spirits. You wade back into the pool, the water colder this time, swirling around your thighs as you approach the platform. The object's clearer now, a bead, bone white, carved with a single spiral. It's small, but it feels heavy, like it carries more than its size suggests. You reach for it, fingers trembling, and the silver light flares, the pool's surface rippling with visions, a Zulu elder threading the bead onto a cord, a warrior placing it on an altar, a child hiding it in this very pool. You pull back, heart racing. "Okay, cave, you're really into dramatic lighting," you quip, but the visions linger, telling you this bead's no trinket, it's a key, a promise, maybe a debt. The Guardian's voices return, soft but firm, speak their names. You freeze, confused. Names? You're no Zulu scholar, just a fool who wandered too deep. But the visions showed faces, elder, warrior, child, and you feel their stories in your bones. You clutch the relic dagger, its carvings warm under your thumb, and take a guess. Nomkosi? Sizwe? Thandi, you say, throwing out names you vaguely recall from a travel blog. The hum falters, and you wince. Okay, bad guess. But the pull calms, and the bead glows brighter. Maybe it's not about literal names but honoring the ancestors tied to this place. You try again, softer, to the elder who guarded, the warrior who fought, the child who hid you. I see you. The hum swells, approving, and you snatch the bead before you overthink it. The moment you touch it, a jolt runs through you, not painful but deep, like the cave stitching you into its history. The visions sharpen, the elder chanting under a crescent moon, the warrior sealing a cave mouth, the child escaping with the bead as shadows chased her. You stumble back, clutching the bead, and notice the pool's light dimming, the visions fading. Fact check: Zulu ancestor worship, central to their culture for centuries, often involved offerings like beads or bones to honor the dead, a practice recorded in 18th century oral histories. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu clans believed sacred beads could sync to the worthy, guiding them to hidden truths. Historians still argue whether these were spiritual tools or simply cultural symbols. You're betting tools, because this bead's humming in your hand, faint but real. You slip the bead into your pocket, next to the dagger, and the chamber shifts, not physically, but the air feels lighter, like you've passed a checkpoint. The guardian's presence softens, but they're still there, watching. You scan the walls, noticing a new carving, a river flowing into a flame, framed by crescent moons. It's the story again, the one tying the horn, the dagger, the bead. You're collecting pieces, but for what? You chuckle: if this is a scavenger hunt, where's my prize? The hum doesn't answer, but a new tunnel opens across the pool, its entrance low and rough, like it was carved in a hurry. Water trickles from its mouth, and you hear a faint chant, not the guardians but something older, layered, like a choir of the dead. You wade out of the pool, boots squelching, and approach the tunnel. The bead and dagger pulse in sync, urging you forward. You duck into the passage, the stones scraping your shoulders, and the chant grows louder, echoing in your skull. The air's warmer here, thick with that floral scent, and the walls are etched with names, not Zulu, not any language you know, but they feel alive, like they're whispering back. You're not just carrying relics now, you're carrying their stories, and the cave's daring you to keep going. Whatever's next, it's bigger than a test, it's a reckoning. You're crawling through the narrow tunnel, the bead and dagger in your pack humming like they're having a private conversation. The air's thick, warm, with that floral scent now so strong it's almost dizzying, like walking through a jungle after rain. The walls are rough, etched with those strange, whispering names that seem to shift when you're not looking. Your flashlight flickers, because of course it does, and you mutter, if I get stuck in a haunted squeeze, I'm leaving a strongly worded note. The chant you heard before is louder, a chorus of voices weaving Zulu syllables with something older, like the Earth's own song. The guardian's presence is faint but steady, their golden weight hovering at the edge of your senses, letting you know they're still judging your every move. The tunnel widens, and you stumble into a new chamber, larger than the last, its ceiling lost in shadows. The floor's uneven, littered with small stones that crunch under your boots, and the walls glow faintly, not with the green or silver light from before but a soft amber, like trapped sunlight. At the chamber's center, a shallow basin carved into the stone holds a pool of liquid, not water, but something thicker, shimmering like molten gold. The chant swells, coming from the basin, and you feel it pulling you closer, like a tide you can't resist. You quip, if this is the cave's hot tub, I'm not impressed, but your heart's racing. This isn't a bath, it's a mirror, reflecting not your face but flashes of faces, a warrior, an elder, a child, the same ones from the visions. You kneel by the basin, the amber light warm on your skin, and the liquid ripples, showing more, a river flowing backward, a flame under a crescent moon, a betrayal. You see a figure, Zulu, cloaked, slipping into this cave with a stolen relic, defiling the sacred space. The voices sharpen, angry, mournful, naming the traitor, Isikolokali. You don't speak Zulu, but you know it means deceiver. The bead in your pocket pulses, and the dagger at your belt feels heavier, like they're reacting to the story. You touch the basin's edge, and the liquid surges, splashing your hand. It's warm, not burning, but it leaves a tingling trail, and the visions deepen, the traitor's theft, the guardian's wrath, the cave sealed to protect its heart. You pull back, shaking your hand dry. Okay, I get it, bad guy messed up, you say, half joking to keep the weight of it off you. But the story's not just history, it's a warning. The Guardians want you to understand what's at stake. Fact check: Zulu oral traditions, preserved since at least the 17th century, often recount tales of betrayal against sacred sites, with traitors cursed to wander as restless spirits. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu clans believed golden liquids in caves were tears of the ancestors, holding memories of the past. Historians still argue whether these were natural minerals or part of ritual practices. You're betting ritual, because this stuff's showing you things no geology class could explain. The basin's light dims, but the chant doesn't stop. You stand, noticing the chamber's walls are carved with scenes of the betrayal, the cloaked figure stealing a relic, the guardians sealing the cave, the river flowing backward to hide the truth. You see the spiral, the crescent moon, the flame, your old friends from the visions. The bead and dagger pulse and sync, and you realize you're retracing the traitor's path, undoing their damage, maybe. The Guardian's presence hums, not approval but expectation. They're waiting for you to act, to prove you're not another Isikolokali. You scan the chamber, spotting a narrow ledge along the wall, leading to a dark alcove where the amber light doesn't reach. The chant pulls you there, and you climb, stones skittering under your boots. The alcove's small, barely a nook, but it holds a single carving, a handprint, etched deep, glowing faintly. You hesitate, then press your palm to it. The stone's warm, and the chant spikes, visions flooding you, the traitor's face, the stolen relic, the cave's heart locked away. You stagger back, gasping. Noted, don't be a jerk to the spirits, you mutter, but the handprint's glow lingers on your skin, like a mark you can't shake. The alcove opens into a new tunnel, its entrance low and jagged. The Guardian's hum urges you forward, and you know the next test is waiting. You're ducking into the new tunnel, the handprint's glow still tingling on your palm like a cosmic tattoo. The air's sharper here, laced with a metallic bite that stings your nose, and the walls are rough, scraping your elbows as you move. The amber light from the last chamber's gone, replaced by a faint purple sheen that pulses from the stone, erratic, like a heartbeat out of rhythm. The bead and dagger in your pack hum softly, their energy a quiet anchor, but the Guardian's presence feels heavier, their golden weight pressing like they're running out of patience. You mutter, if you guys want me to speedrun this, maybe give me a map, but the cave's hum only deepens, and you swear it's annoyed. The chant from the basin lingers in your head, fragments of the traitor's story, Isikolokali, mixing with the voices, urging you deeper. The tunnel twists, and you nearly slip on a slick patch of stone, catching yourself on a jagged outcrop. Your flashlight catches glints of crystal embedded in the walls, refracting the purple light into shards that dance like fireflies. The path opens into a small, dome-shaped chamber, and you pause, breath-catching. The floor's covered in a mosaic of smooth pebbles, arranged in spirals that match the ones you've seen on the horn, dagger, and bead. At the center, a single stone slab stands, etched with a crescent moon and a riddle in Zulu script. I am the shadow that guards the light. What am I? You groan, another riddle? I'm barely passing these. But the Guardian's hum spikes, and you feel their eyes, or whatever they have, locked on you. You step closer, the pebbles crunching under your boots, and study the slab. The script's old, worn, but the crescent moon glows faintly, like it's waiting for your answer. You think back to the visions, the warrior, the elder, the child, the traitor. The shadow guarding the light, it's not a thing, it's a role. You whisper, the Guardians, testing the words. The hum softens, and the slab's glow brightens, but it's not enough. The voices push, speak the truth. You try again, louder, the ancestors who protect this cave's heart. The chamber rumbles, pebbles shifting, and a hidden panel in the slab slides open, revealing a small, carved box. You laugh nervously, okay, I'm not that bad at this, right? But your hands shake as you reach for it. The box is warm, its surface etched with the same spirals and moons. You open it, and inside lies a single feather, black with a purple sheen, pulsing faintly like the walls. The moment you touch it, visions hit, a Zulu shaman holding the feather under a starry sky, a ritual sealing the cave, the traitor's shadow fleeing. You drop the box, gasping, the feather still in your hand. Fact check. Zulu shamans in the 18th century used feathers in rituals to commune with ancestors, believing they carried messages from the spirit world, a practice noted in early colonial records. Quirky tidbit. Some clans claimed certain feathers could bind spirits, trapping or guiding them. Historians still argue whether these were symbolic or tied to specific rituals. You're betting rituals, because this feather's practically vibrating with intent. The Guardian's presence surges, approving but urgent, and the chamber's purple light pulses faster. You tuck the feather into your pack, next to the bead and dagger, and notice the mosaic pebbles shifting, forming a new path to a low, jagged tunnel. The hum turns sharp, almost a warning, and you realize this riddle wasn't just a test, it was a gate. You're closer to the cave's heart, and the traitor's story feels heavier, like you're carrying their debt. You quip, if I'm paying for some ancient jerk's mistakes, I want a receipt. But the voices don't laugh, and the feather's pulse syncs with the chamber's light, urging you forward. You crawl into the tunnel, the stone cold under your hands, and the air grows thinner, like you're climbing a mountain. The purple sheen fades, replaced by a faint red glow, like the firelight from earlier chambers. You hear a new sound, not a chant, but a whisper, fragmented, like voices arguing. The traitor's name, Isikolokali, echoes in your head, and you wonder if you're walking into their trap or undoing their curse. Either way, the cave's not letting you turn back, and the Guardians are watching, ready for your next move. You're crawling through the tight tunnel, the red glow ahead casting long shadows that make the walls seem to writhe. The air's thin, sharp with a burnt ash scent that stings your lungs, and the stone under your hands is warm, almost feverish. The feather in your pack pulses alongside the bead and dagger, their combined hum like a chorus urging you forward. The Guardian's presence is intense, their golden weight pressing harder, and those whispering voices from the last chamber are clearer now, arguing in Zulu and something older, their tone laced with urgency. You mutter, if this is the part where I get roasted, I'm not a fan, but the cave's hum drowns your sarcasm, vibrating in your bones like it's rewriting your pulse. The tunnel opens into a chamber so vast your flashlight's beam barely reaches the far walls. The red glow comes from a massive stone ring at the center, carved with spirals and crescent moons, its surface pulsing like a dying star. Inside the ring, a shallow pit holds embers, not burning, but alive, glowing red and gold, casting heat that makes your skin prickle. The voices spike, forming a single question: what binds the broken? You groan, another riddle? I'm running out of brain cells here. But the Guardian's hum is unrelenting, and you feel their gaze, heavy as history, waiting for you to prove yourself. You step closer, the embers heat licking at your face, and notice the ring's carvings shift slightly, showing a river, a flame, a traitor's shadow. You circle the ring, boots crunching on ash-dusted stone, and think. The visions, the relics, the traitor, Isikolakali, all point to something broken, a sacred trust shattered. The feather, bead, and dagger pulse in your pack, and you realize they're not just keys, they're pieces of what was lost. You pull them out, laying them on the ring's edge. The dagger's blade glints, the bead glows softly, the feather shimmers. You whisper, loyalty. It binds what's broken. The embers flare, and the voices hum approval, but it's not enough. They want more, a gesture, a sacrifice. You quip, if you want my blood, I'm low on stock, but you know it's not that simple. You touch the ring, and a vision hits, a Zulu shaman placing relics in this very pit, sealing a pact to protect the cave's heart, the traitor stealing one, breaking the bond. The embers pulse, and you see it, the answer's not just words, it's action. You pick up the relics and step into the pit, embers warm under your boots. The heat's intense but not burning, and you place the dagger, bead, and feather in the center, arranging them in a spiral. The voices roar, and the embers ignite, a flame leaping up, not red but white, pure, blinding. You stumble back, laughing shakily, okay, I'm not barbecue yet. The flame doesn't hurt you, it's testing, cleansing, maybe forgiving. Fact check. Zulu rituals in the 19th century often used fire to purify sacred spaces, with shamans placing offerings in flames to restore balance, as noted in early ethnographic accounts. Quirky tidbit. Some Zulu elders claimed embers in sacred caves could judge intent, burning only the guilty. Historians still argue whether these fires were symbolic or tied to natural gas deposits. You're betting magic, because this flame's dancing like it knows you. The ring's carvings glow, showing the shaman's pact restored, the traitor's shadow fading. The guardian's presence softens, approving, and the flame dims, leaving the relics untouched, glowing faintly. You step out of the pit, heart pounding, and notice a new carving on the ring, a flame encircling a heart. The cave's heart is close, and you've just unlocked the final gate. The voice is quiet, but the guardian's hum guides you to a narrow crevice beyond the ring, its entrance framed by glowing embers. You sling your pack on, leaving the relics behind, they've done their job. The crevice is tight, the air cooler, and you hear a faint drip, like water meeting stone. You crawl through, the red glow fading, and feel the cave shift, not physically, but like it's breathing easier. You're almost there, but the traitor's shadow lingers in your mind, a warning that even loyalty can break. You're squeezing through the crevice, the embers' red glow now just a faint memory as the air turns cool and damp, smelling of wet earth and faint ozone, like a storm's aftermath. The stone scrapes your shoulders, and the drip you heard before grows louder, a steady rhythm echoing in the tight space. The guardian's presence is still there, their golden weight lighter but sharp, like they're holding their breath for what's next. The bead, dagger, and feather are gone, left in the flame's pit, but their energy lingers in your chest, a hum that syncs with the cave's pulse. You mutter, if this is the final boss room, I'm severely underleveled, but the sarcasm's thin, you know you're close to the cave's heart, and the traitor's shadow, Isikolakali, feels like it's watching from the dark. The crevice opens into a chamber so still it feels like time forgot it. The walls shimmer with veins of crystal, catching a soft golden light that seems to come from nowhere. At the center, a stone pillar rises, smooth and tall, topped with a single flame, not wild like the last one, but steady, golden, no bigger than a candle's flicker. It's the heart of the cave, and it's beautiful, but it's also heavy, like it's holding centuries of secrets. The drip comes from a small pool at the pillar's base, it's water clear, reflecting the flame like a mirror. You step closer, boots silent on the polished floor, and the guardian's hum swells, not a chant but a hymn, solemn and old. You quip, okay, cave, you saved the fancy decor for last, but your voice feels wrong here, like whispering in a cathedral. The pillar's surface is carved with spirals, crescent moons, and a new symbol, a heart pierced by a flame. You touch it, and a vision hits. Zulu shamans gathered here, chanting under a starry sky, the flame burning brighter as they sealed the cave's purpose, to guard the world's balance. You see the traitor again, Isikolakali, stealing a relic, the flame dimming, the cave sealed. The vision fades, and the guardian's voices return, clear now. What is the flame's purpose? You blink, brain scrambling. Another riddle? You're running low on clever, but you feel the answer in the visions. The flame's not just light, it's life, connection, the tie between ancestors and the living. You whisper, it binds the past to the present. The flame flares, and the hum approves, the pool rippling with golden light. You kneel by the pool, the water's reflection showing not your face but the shaman's, the warrior's, the child's. Fact check: Zulu cosmology, rooted in centuries of tradition, views sacred flames as links to the ancestral realm, a belief documented in 18th century oral histories. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu elders claimed these flames could speak, revealing truths to the worthy. Historians still argue whether they were ritual symbols or tied to natural phenomena like methane vents. You're betting spirit, because this flame's watching you, its light warm on your face. You dip your fingers in the pool, and the water's warm, tingling, showing more, the flame's birth, its power to heal or destroy, the traitor's curse dimming its light. The guardian's presence shifts, not judging now but guiding. You stand, noticing the pillar's carvings glow faintly, pointing to a small alcove behind it. You approach, heart pounding, and find a final carving, a handprint, like the one before, but this one's etched with the flame symbol. You press your palm to it, and the chamber hums, the flame flaring brighter, filling the space with golden light. Visions flood you. The cave's creation, its guardians sworn to protect it, the traitor's betrayal undone by your steps. You stagger back, gasping, and the flame settles, steady again. You quip, if I just saved the world, I deserve a nap. But the guardian's hum feels like a nod, and the pool's light dims, the drip slowing to silence. A new path opens, not a tunnel but a stairway, carved into the stone, leading up. The air's lighter, fresher, like you're nearing the surface. You've seen the cave's heart, answered its riddle, but you feel Isikolakali's shadow still, a warning not to repeat their mistake. You start climbing, the flames glow behind you, the guardian's presence a quiet companion. The cave's not done with you, but you're almost free, or are you? You're climbing the stone stairway, each step echoing in the quiet like a heartbeat slowing down. The air's fresher, carrying a hint of grass and open sky, but it's laced with that ozone tang from deeper in the cave, like the earth's still clinging to you. The golden flame's glow is a distant memory, but its warmth lingers in your chest, mixing with the hum of the guardian's presence, steady, not pressing, like they're walking beside you now, not behind. The bead, dagger, and feather are gone, left in the flame's pit, but their weight's still there, etched into your bones. You mutter, if I'm the cave's intern now, I want benefits, but the joke feels hollow. The traitor's shadow, Isikolakali, looms in your mind, a reminder that one wrong step could lock you here forever. The stairway curves, and faint starlight filters through cracks above, painting the walls with silver flecks. The stone's smoother here, worn by centuries of feet, war spirits, and carved with faint spirals, crescent moons, and that flame heart symbol you saw at the cave's heart. You brush one, and a shiver runs through you, not a vision but a feeling, judgment. The guardian's voices return, soft but clear, will you carry our truth? You pause, heart thumping. Carry it? You're just some rando who stumbled into a sacred cave, not a Zulu shaman. You quip, I'm barely carrying my backpack, guys, but the hum doesn't laugh. They're serious, and the stairway's end looms, a jagged opening where starlight pours in, bright and cold. You step onto a ledge overlooking the plain where you started, the night sky sprawling above, the Pleiades cluster winking like it knows your secrets. The cave mouth's behind you, its glow dim now, almost hidden. You feel the guardians watching, their golden forms flickering at the edge of your vision, tall, lean, childlike, their eyes heavy with expectation. They're not asking for a vow, not exactly, but for a choice: speak of this place or keep its silence. You sit on the ledge, catching your breath, and notice your hand. The handprint's glow from the cave's heart is still there, faint but real, like a mark you can't wash off. You chuckle, great, I'm branded by a cave now. The plain below is quiet, the grass swaying under a breeze you can't feel. Fact check: Zulu tradition holds that sacred sites choose their keepers, marking them through rituals or visions, a practice noted in 19th century oral histories. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu elders claimed cave markings could follow the chosen, appearing on skin or dreams. Historians still argue whether these were spiritual bonds or psychological effects of intense rituals. You're betting bond, because this handprint's not just a sunburn, and the guardian's hum feels like a contract you've already signed. You stand, the starlight cold on your face, and weigh your choice. Speak, and you risk exposing the cave to treasure hunters or worse, another Isikolokali. Stay silent, and you carry its weight alone, a secret that might haunt you. The visions flash in your mind: the shaman's pact, the trader's theft, the flame's purpose. You whisper, I'll keep it safe, not sure if you mean the cave or yourself. The guardian's presence softens, their forms fading, but the hum lingers, approving. The handprint pulses once, then dims, leaving your skin bare but your heart heavy. A path slopes down from the ledge, winding back to the plain. You start walking, the cave's hum fading with each step, but you feel its pull, like a thread tied to your soul. The stars seem brighter, the air sharper, and you wonder if you're the same person who wandered in hours ago. Isikolokali's shadow is gone, but its lesson isn't: betray the cave, and you betray yourself. You reach the plain, the wooden post with its unreadable symbols still standing, and glance back. The cave mouth's invisible now, swallowed by the cliff. You're free, but are you? You're trudging across the plain, the cave's invisible mouth now just a shadow in the cliff behind you. The night air's crisp, smelling of dry grass and distant rain, and the stars burn brighter, like they're celebrating your escape, or mocking your nerve. Your boots crunch on gravel, each step heavier than it should be, not from exhaustion but from the weight of what you've seen. The guardian's presence is faint, a golden hum barely brushing your senses, but it's there, like a friend who's already said goodbye. Your hands bare, the glowing mark gone, but you feel it inside, a quiet pulse tying you to the cave's heart. You mutter, if I'm haunted now, I'm billing the spirits for therapy, but the sarcasm's weak, you're not sure who you're kidding anymore. The wooden post you passed hours ago looms ahead, its carved symbols clearer under the starlight. You pause, tracing them with your finger, and they match the spirals and crescent moons from the cave. A shiver runs through you, not a vision, but a memory of the flame, the relics, the trader's shadow. You've chosen silence, promised to guard the cave's truth, but the world out here feels louder, messier, full of people who'd kill to find what you've left behind. You chuckle, great, I'm the gatekeeper of a cosmic secret. No pressure. The post seems to hum, or maybe it's just the wind, but you step back, wary. This place doesn't let go easy. You keep walking, the plain stretching endless under the sky. The Pleiades cluster winks above, and you remember the horn's carvings, the shaman's starlit rituals. Fact check: Zulu cosmology links sacred sites to celestial patterns, with the Pleiades often guiding rituals, a belief recorded in 18th century oral traditions. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu clans claimed the stars spoke to caves, sinking their light with underground flames. Historians still argue whether this was poetic metaphor or tied to actual astronomical events. You're betting events, because the cave's flame felt like it was dancing to a cosmic beat, and those stars feel too close tonight. Your backpack's lighter without the relics, but your chest's heavy, like you're carrying their stories instead. The visions linger, the shaman's pact, the warrior's sacrifice, the child's escape, Isikolokali's betrayal. You wonder what happens if you slip, tell a friend, post a cryptic tweet, let the secret spill. The Guardian's hum, faint as it is, sharpens for a moment, like a warning. You whisper, "Okay, I get it," lips sealed. But it's not just about silence, it's about living with it, knowing what's out there while the world moves on, clueless. You spot your car in the distance, a dusty speck under the stars, and it feels like a relic itself, too ordinary for what you've become. You reach the car, the plane silent except for a faint rustle in the grass, probably a critter, but you glance back anyway. The cliff's just a dark line now, the cave gone, but you feel its pull, like a tide you can't see. You lean against the hood, staring at the sky, and notice a faint glow on your palm, not the handprint, but a trick of the starlight, maybe. You quip, "If I'm glowing now, I'm charging for autographs." But the wait's real, and you know you're not the same person who parked here, chasing a thrill. The cave chose you, marked you, and silence is your price. You slide into the driver's seat, the engine's rumble jarring after the cave's hum. The road stretches ahead, leading back to lights, noise, people who'll never understand. You glance at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see golden silhouettes, but it's just the plain, endless, and dark. The Guardian's hum fades, but you know they're not gone, they're waiting, watching, trusting you to keep the cave's heart safe. You drive, the stars your only guide, and wonder how you'll live with a secret this big. You're driving now, the car's rumble a stark contrast to the cave's ancient hum, the plane fading in your rearview mirror like a dream you're not sure you had. The night air streams through the cracked window, cool and sharp, smelling of dust and distant jacaranda blooms. The stars are still too bright, the Pleiades cluster glaring like it's daring you to forget. Your hands grip the wheel, the faint tingle in your palm, where the handprint glowed, now just a memory, but the cave's weight sits heavy in your chest, a secret you've sworn to keep. You mutter, "If I start sleepwalking back to that cliff, I'm calling in sick," but the joke's thin. Isikolokali's shadow, the traitor's betrayal, lingers like a warning. One slip, and you could break everything the Guardians trusted you with. The road stretches, empty except for the occasional glint of eyes in the brush, jackals, maybe, or something less ordinary. You pass the wooden post again, its symbols catching your headlights, and you don't stop. You've seen enough spirals and crescent moons to last a lifetime. The cave's heart, that golden flame, burns in your mind, its purpose, binding past to present, now your burden. You chuckle, "Great, I'm the world's most underqualified secret keeper." But it's not just the cave you're guarding, it's the balance, the stories, the ancestors who chose you when you stumbled into their sanctum. The Guardian's hum is gone, but you feel their gaze, faint as starlight, trusting you to stay silent. You think about the world waiting, your phone's probably buzzing with notifications, friends asking where you've been, a life that feels too small for what you've seen. Fact check: Zulu tradition holds that sacred knowledge, once given, changes the bearer forever, a belief woven into 19th century oral histories. Quirky tidbit: some Zulu shamans claimed silence itself was a ritual, protecting sacred sites from outsiders. Historians still argue whether this was spiritual discipline or a practical defense against colonial looters. You're betting both, because the cave's truth feels too big for words, and speaking it risks inviting another Isikolokali. The road curves, and you spot the first signs of civilization, a gas station's neon glow, a flicker of normalcy. You pull over, not for fuel but to breathe, to let the weight settle. The stars are softer here, dimmed by artificial light, and you lean against the car, the metal cool under your hands. You check your palm again, nothing, just skin, but you know better. The cave marked you, not with light but with purpose. You whisper, "I'll keep it safe," not to the guardians but to yourself, a promise to live with this secret, to honor the flame's quiet power. The night feels gentler now, the stars fading as dawn whispers at the horizon. You're still you, same messy hair, same bad jokes, but there's a stillness in you, a calm carved by the cave's trails. The plain stretches behind, vast and silent, hiding its secrets as it always has. You don't need to look back, the cave's with you, its flame a soft glow in your heart, its riddles answered, its trust earned. The world will wake soon, noisy and unaware, but you'll carry the silence, a guardian in your own right. Let the stars keep their watch, let the plain hold its breath. You're home, not in place but in purpose, and that's enough. Sleep now, dreamer, and let the cave's hum cradle you into tomorrow.